All right, we sound good. This one goes, are you the only one who's broke? Or is it money dysmorphia? The stuff they come up with. Or this other one says, or are we all just living beyond our means now? This should be fun.
Talking about money again. So this weekend, the New York Times published Are You the Only One Who's Broke by Emma Goldberg, and today The Cut published Are We All Just Living Beyond Our Means Now by Claire Lampin. It's interesting that as we enter this period of economic anxiety, we're seeing both of these articles come out at exactly the same time, right? Where we're having more and more of these conversations about like what it means to be worried about how much money you make and how much money other people make. And like New York Times was especially interesting to me as a millennial and as someone who like has grown up with social media the way a lot of us have.
Real quick, I've never once worried about if someone else is making more money than me. I don't know about you guys, but maybe I just never cared. I don't know. I just thought about that though. I'm like, money dysmorphia. Like, what in the shit is that? Sorry, it's just the stuff they come up with.
Have where it seems like the perception of like other people having money or being able to perceive that other people have more money than you is like making people crazy. Whereas Are We Just Living Beyond Our Means Now is a more researched look at like all of the conditions that have brought us here, right? It's all the stuff that we're always talking about, right? Where millennials are the first generation to like not be able to buy a home and all of the jobs are gone and everything's getting harder and harder and more expensive. What's especially interesting to me sociologically is that obviously I wasn't 30 in the 90s, I'm 30 now. There is something about the rise of social media and like seeing other people live their lives that is especially damaging to the brain, right? And we've seen like whiffs of this when it comes to like plastic surgery and body and like all of that stuff. And that obviously is a different conversation. But I think for this, it's especially interesting because it's hitting us in a way that we've like never really seen.
Yeah, you see, he's obviously gay. Gay is good. This young gay gentleman here, talking about Botox and shit. I think women and men, or I guess he could be classified in the women category, right? No offense, but but you get what I'm saying. I think they do look at. I think a lot of women and other women like that look like this. They look at they do look at these things. So I think that is correct. I don't know regular dudes. I mean, there's probably a lot of bitter guys out there. Like, how's that asshole making more money than me? But money dysmorphia. I'm sorry, I just get a kick out of that one.
Seen before. I famously grew up here in New York City, where the city is very economically stratified, right? Like block by block, every single block has a very rigid demarcation of like how much money everyone makes. And like knowing what neighborhood people live in gives you a very clear indication of how much money they make, or now with like rich parents and stuff. But the point that I'm getting at is that growing up in New York, it is very obvious and clear. Like I grew up in the Bronx, right? Like very, very different from like this. But like it is very clear that some people are just rich, right? There wasn't this like intense economic anxiety because I come from an immigrant background. So it's like everyone is focused on surviving, everyone is focused on working, everyone is hustling, right? There wasn't this like intense competition. There wasn't this keeping up with the Joneses thing. We were just like trying to make it in the first place. We weren't worried about like going to Tulum for bachelorette parties and like all of this other stuff that this article is talking about. Again, what's interesting to me sociologically is that I think social media has created this sort of portal or window into other people's lives that doesn't necessarily explain why this like rise of envy or money dysphoria is being created, where it's like, and this is where it gets a little spooky. Be careful.
He goes, this is where it gets a little crazy. um, he's got a point. He's got a point. It used to just be like the people in your surrounding area. They go, that's the rich neighborhood. We live in the poor neighborhood. Now it's like, here's the rest of the world. But to be fair, the rest of the world, we're all just kind of like, I guess I'll make it, you know? I'll get the money. I'll have it. I mean, I've always been a hustler, though. So I've been up and down, baby. I've been all around.
Careful, don't get mad at me. The idea was that some people had normal jobs and like had normal lives and some people didn't, right? So like if you were a barista or a teacher or a librarian, and obviously I'm not throwing shade at any of those. I know many, many people who are baristas and librarians and teachers, and I love them all. But like
how many fucking barista, librarians, and teachers can you possibly know? All of those jobs, there's no way you can cut it. You're not living beyond your means, okay? And if you have we live in a world now where if you don't have some kind of crazy job making insane money, and then you look, if I'm a teacher or a fucking librarian, that's good. And I'm going to go look on Instagram and go, how does that guy or girl afford this? Well, I'll tell you how they afford it. They're not a teacher. And they're definitely highest probability in the world not a librarian. And they're definitely not a barista. If anything, they might own the coffee shop. That could afford you to be, probably wealthy, I would assume. People get addicted to coffee. Moral of the story is the regular jobs obviously don't pay. They just don't anymore. Some of them do, but come on now.
The expectation wasn't that you were going to make $400,000 a year and like get married in Capri and like have a mansion and like drive 17 cars. You know what I mean? Like the expectation was that you would live like a normal life. But knowing that other people have more money than you isn't like treated as just like a fact of life, right? Like we are having this conversation over and over again when it comes to the Nepo babies, right? When it comes to the article in The Cut a couple of weeks ago, like everyone is subsidized by their parents in this city. And like, it's interesting, again, psychologically and sociologically, because to me, it was just like a fact of life that some people are rich, right? The same way, because I'm an immigrant, because I'm a person of color, because I have all of these, I'm queer, I have all of these life
I was waiting for him to go, plus I'm gay. I was waiting for that. No offense. I honestly can't. He's going like nowhere with this. We'll probably get further ahead in the comments. He goes, everyone in the real middle class life is buying a house, had 30 to 50K wedding, and are having babies. Online, everyone is child free and can't afford a house. I don't know what's real. Yeah. Also, a lot of weddings, I guess the parents can't even afford the weddings, but a lot of weddings I've been to, the kids actually shell it out of their pockets. And you're right, they don't own homes. They have car payments. I don't know why they thought it was smart to spend 20 grand on a wedding, but they did it anyways. I am from suburban Ohio, and I don't know normal people bought designer goods. I thought it was only for celebrities. Yeah, that is something. When I was bartending, every bartender had a Louis bag, like a $3,000 purse that they'd walk around with. I was like, you fucking slang drinks, dude. Yeah, we made good money, but whatever. That's a little much. The designer shit's a little much. I feel this. The class disparities are upsetting, but as a person who was never promised to inherit the upper class, it's interesting to see people frame themselves as particularly robbed. Yeah, I don't understand that one. I think we've all been gypped, unless you're rich. All the normal people, we've all been gypped. There you go. We've all been ripped off. I think the middle class overspends thousands of dollars in bachelorette trips, $120 sweatshirt sets, expensive cars. People didn't used to spend so much money on non-essential things. Yeah, speaking of non-essential things, I got the new Caddy Daddy t-shirts out. If you guys want one, link down below. They came out fucking great, dude. And this is something that I wanted to make something where you'd want to have it for a long time. A one-time buy. Instead of going out and buying the car, you could just wear it for much cheaper. But yeah, that person's got a point. I don't have the balls to have a huge car payment. I just don't have the balls to do that. You just have to say, I have no idea how much debt someone else is in. Once I grasped that, I didn't feel so inadequate. Take everything with a grain of salt. Yeah, it's the classic thing, Like, I'm making great money, and by great money, I hate being transparent because people get fucking butthurt about it. But let's say I made just over 100 grand last year. I drive a 2007 for $9,600. A 2007 Mercury Grand Marquis. If it had tint, everybody would think I was either black or a grandfather. Yeah. But other guy over here, $3,500 a month, drives a substantially nicer car than me with a $700 car payment. So that comment holds true. And also, it's the other way around. My best friend in the world drove the shittiest 2002 Mazda that he got for free from his grandmother, makes over 100 grand a year. Best friend in the world. He's like my brother. but he owned a house. Retirement accounts. Money in the bank, shorty what you drink. It goes both ways. The undercover brother, you know what I mean? I'd be curious to I'd be curious to dive into the details of credit card debt, spending behavior, and how people are seemingly pulling off some of this bullshit. Yeah, realizing that making 80 to 100K in even mid-sized cities doesn't afford you comfort. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I'm in South Florida in West Palm Beach in a pretty poppin' city. Promise you right now, I'm super comfortable. Am I living in the nicest house? No, I live in a townhome. Am I driving the nicest cars? No. Well, I guess this one's really dope. I turned it into a t-shirt, but it is a real car, but I got it for $9,000 5 years ago. It was a fucking deal. You know what I mean? But I'm not, yeah, you're right. You're comfortable, but you're not balling. Like, I guess I could be balling. I could just go paycheck to paycheck and just say, fuck it. Let me drive anything I want. But yeah, I mean, they're comfortable, but yeah, you're not rich. I think knowing 60% of people paid for their Coachella ticket via layaway adds to this. Yeah, apparently people are financing just going to concerts now, so that's fun. I think people are living in the moment and saving significantly less because of the idea of I'll never own a house anyways. It's so interesting that keeping up with the Joneses growing up, I'm born in 1993, was like buying your kid Uggs and a North Face and a Coach purse. And now it's like international trips. Yeah, I've never been on an international trip. That's how rich I'm not. Not everyone should be rich, but everyone should be able to afford rent and groceries. It's not about going to Tulum or bachelorette parties. It's about the cost of basic living becoming ridiculous. Money dysmorphia. Well, I'm going to be here to tell you, if you're still watching this far in this video, that if you're worried about what other people are making, like, you're tripping. Most of us are not. Most people are not balling. Majority. They're just not. And then there are people who are. And you're going to have to go ask them, what the fuck are you doing? I just told you what I'm making. Are you willing to go do this? Are you willing to do all this bullshit here to the camera? Fucking put yourself out there, eat shit for years, and hopefully you make enough every month and sell t-shirts and fucking be judged, and are you willing to do that? That's what it takes just to make a comfortable living, according to one of these comments. So yeah, money dysmorphia. God, that's going to be the title of this video. Unreal. I'll leave this guy's info down below. Hi.